Edmunds just released its 2026 Vehicle Dependability Study, and vehicle reliability has dropped to the worst level since 2009. We're talking 202 problems per 100 vehicles, which means 1 in 5 cars coming off the lot right now carries a serious issue. And some of the SUVs people are buying the most are the exact ones breaking the most. Today, I'm showing you the 5 worst SUVs to buy in 2026. The ones that look great on paper but come loaded with reliability nightmares, massive repair bills, and depreciation that'll make you sick. I've also found 5 SUVs that are genuinely worth every dollar. One of them holds 75% of its value after 5 years, and another shares a platform with the most dependable luxury SUV in America. So stay until the end, because my number 1 pick is going to surprise you. Let's begin with one of the worst SUVs on this list, the Volkswagen Taos. Starting under $30,000 with German engineering and a premium interior, the Volkswagen Taos seems like one of the smartest buys in the subcompact SUV market. At $300 a month on a lease, the math looks right, and the badge carries weight. But here's the thing. That badge dragged its brand to the very bottom of Edmunds and J.D. Power's 2026 Dependability Study, scoring 285 problems per 100 vehicles, the worst of any brand they tested. Consumer Reports named the Taos the least reliable subcompact SUV 2 years running, and the reason sits under the hood. That 1.5-liter turbo engine carries a documented head gasket defect, one that Volkswagen acknowledged in a technical service bulletin and responded to by extending the warranty. Some owners are already on their second head gasket replacement before reaching 30,000 miles, and Car Complaints has logged 109 NHTSA complaints just for the engine with an average failure mileage of 1,683. That's not even broken in. Replacing a head gasket out of warranty runs between $3,000 and $4,500, and that repair lands on a vehicle that loses 48% of its value in 5 years. You're paying to fix a car that's already worth half what you bought it for. Now, let's continue with one of the best SUVs on this list, the Honda CR-V Hybrid. Let me show you a compact SUV that costs almost the same as a Taos and costs less than half as much to repair every year. The Honda CR-V Hybrid earned Consumer Reports' top pick for best compact SUV, and RepairPal puts its average annual repair cost at $407 compared to the industry average of $652. It also retains 71% of its value after 5 years. Honda has been building hybrid systems since 1999, and this one pairs a 2.0-liter Atkinson cycle engine with 2 electric motors and an ECVT, which means there's no traditional automatic transmission to wear out. The electric motor handles the hardest part, those low-speed, high-torque starts, so the gas engine barely breaks a sweat during daily driving. An honest weak point does exist here. A steering recall affects 1.6 million Hondas, including the CR-V Hybrid, and in cold climates, real-world fuel economy drops below 30 miles per gallon. Not perfect, but the data puts it among the most reliable SUVs you can buy right now. And we're moving back to one of the worst SUVs, the Mazda CX-90 plug-in hybrid. This SUV is going to surprise a lot of people because Mazda is usually one of the most reliable brands on the road. The CX-90 plug-in hybrid, though, is not a CX-5. Consumer Reports scored the 2024 CX-90 PHEV at just 15 out of 100 for reliability, and the first model year brought 11 recalls with it. The inverter software can kill drive power while you're in EV mode. A faulty dash electrical supply unit can disable your defroster, seatbelt warning, backup camera, and battery cooling system all at once. Owners report a crunching noise when shifting from first to second gear, unexplained stalls from a bad fuel gauge, moonroof leaks, and a persistent brake squeal that Mazda has acknowledged but still hasn't fixed. And this is where it gets worse, because everything else about the CX-90 is gorgeous. Nappa leather, massaging seats, an inline-six engine, and a price tag $10,000 cheaper than a BMW X5. Buyers think they're getting a luxury bargain, but what they're actually getting is Mazda's first attempt at a three-row plug-in hybrid. Consumer Reports expert Jake Fisher warns that the best bet for reliability-conscious shoppers is to steer clear of newly introduced or redesigned vehicles in their initial model year. That warning was built for this exact car, and the 43% depreciation over 5 years confirms it. Let's continue with yet another best SUV on this list, the Lexus NX. Now let me show you what a reliable luxury SUV actually looks like, from a brand that has finished #1 in J.D. Power's Vehicle Dependability Study 3 years running. Lexus scored 140 problems per 100 vehicles, and if you remember Volkswagen sitting at 285, that's literally double the problems. The NX is their best-selling vehicle. RepairPal rates the NX second out of 11 luxury compact SUVs, with an annual repair cost of $690, well below the $859 luxury segment average. iSeeCars ranks the NX 350 as the #1 best resale value in luxury small SUVs, retaining 61.6% of its value after 5 years. What makes the NX last is what sits underneath it. The platform and 2.5-liter engine family are shared with the Toyota RAV4, one of the most proven powertrains in the industry. On top of that, Lexus backs it with a 6-year, 70,000-mile powertrain warranty, the best in the segment. The honest weak point is the infotainment system, which has some Apple CarPlay disconnect issues. A minor headache, sure, but I'll take a CarPlay glitch over 11 recalls any day of the week. Let's continue with one of the worst SUVs, the Chevrolet Blazer EV. In December 2023, Chevrolet did something that should tell you everything you need to know about this vehicle. They stopped selling the Blazer EV completely, issuing a full stop sale because the software was so broken they couldn't let new ones leave the lot. When Edmunds got one for their long-term test fleet, the vehicle threw 23 fault codes in 2 months and spent 2 weeks sitting at the dealer. Consumer Reports named the Blazer EV the least reliable electric SUV in their 2026 survey, and the owner stories confirm it. One CR respondent said their battery sensor disabled the entire battery system on Thanksgiving. 5 NHTSA recalls have been issued so far, including one where the parking brake can lock your rear wheels while you're driving at highway speed. The depreciation trap makes everything worse. EVs as a category lose 57% of their value in 5 years, which is 15 points worse than the industry average. On a $50,000 Blazer EV, that works out to roughly $28,500 gone, and that's before the $7,000 dealer discount they used to get you in the door. Buyers get drawn in by the federal tax credit, the striking design, and those huge dealer discounts. The Blazer EV looks like a Tesla Model Y competitor at $45,000, but what you're really buying is GM's first real effort on the Ultium platform. You're the beta tester. Let's continue to one of the best SUVs on this list, the Toyota RAV4 Hybrid. This is the boring pick, and that's exactly why it belongs on this list. The Toyota RAV4 won J.D. Power's Most Dependable Compact SUV award. RepairPal puts its annual repair cost at $429, which lands 34% below the industry average. And iSeeCars ranks it #1 for resale value among compact SUVs, retaining 75% of its value after 5 years. Let me put that contrast in real numbers. The Jeep Grand Cherokee, which is coming up on this list, costs $666 a year in repairs, while the RAV4 costs $429. That $237 difference adds up every single year for the life of the vehicle, and over 10 years, you're looking at almost $2,400 saved just on repair costs alone. When it's time to sell, the RAV4 will be worth $10,000 to $15,000 more. For 2026, the RAV4 goes hybrid only, running a 2.5-liter Atkinson cycle engine with electric motors and an ECVT. No turbo to fail, no traditional transmission to wear out. Toyota has refined this hybrid system across 25 years and 20 million vehicles. The honest weak point is engine noise under hard acceleration, something Consumer Reports dings it for consistently. If you want quiet, the Lexus NX sits on the same platform with better sound deadening. The second to last worst SUV is the GMC Acadia. GMC calls the Acadia professional grade, but Consumer Reports pulled it from their recommended list in December 2025 and labeled it much less reliable than average. And this is where it gets interesting, because the old Acadia, the 2022 model, actually won J.D. Power's Most Dependable Midsize SUV award. The 2024 redesign, though, is a completely different vehicle built on a new platform, with a new turbocharged 2.5-liter engine and a new 8-speed transmission. That transmission is the problem. GM issued a service update for clutch piston retaining rings that were out of spec, and owners across TikTok and Reddit are documenting transmission failures at 950 miles. Multiple lemon law buybacks have already happened on vehicles with under 1,000 miles. One owner said they picked up their brand new Acadia from the dealer, drove it home, and the next morning it wouldn't go into drive or reverse. The depreciation confirms the trouble, with the Acadia losing 52.4% of its value in 5 years. On a $55,000 Acadia Denali, that's almost $29,000 gone. Buyers get fooled because the Denali trim has leather and wood and looks like a $75,000 SUV for $55,000. Because the old Acadia won that J.D. Power award, people assume the new one must be just as reliable. None of that matters because GMC redesigned it, deleted the V6, and forgot to test the transmission. Moving on to yet another best SUV, the Toyota 4Runner. If the RAV4 is the smart pick, the 4Runner is the tough one. Body-on-frame construction, the same truck-based architecture used by the Toyota Tacoma and Lexus GX, with full-time four-wheel drive, a mechanical center differential, and a 2-speed transfer case. This is not a crossover. The Lexus GX, which shares this exact platform, won J.D. Power's Most Dependable Upper Midsize Premium SUV award in 2025, so the platform has proven itself at the highest level. RepairPal rates the 4Runner 4.0 out of 5.0, with $514 a year in repairs, and iSeeCars ranks it number 1 for resale value in midsize SUVs, retaining 74.6% after 5 years. The honest weak point is that the new turbo 4-cylinder engine is only 2 model years old. The old 4.0-liter V6 had a 20-year track record behind it, and the new engine doesn't have that kind of proof yet. Some 2025 owners also report brake squeal on all 4 corners. Based on the platform data and the Lexus GX's track record, though, the engineering checks out. Alright, here it is. The number 1 worst SUV you can buy in 2026 is the one I almost can't believe is still being sold the way it's being sold: the Jeep Grand Cherokee. The styling matches a Range Rover, the price undercuts a Range Rover, and the marketing is everywhere because Jeep has made this the face of the brand. The data, though, tells a completely different story. 15 NHTSA recalls for the 2024 model year. That averages out to more than 1 recall every 6 weeks since launch. Consumer Reports rates it 1 out of 5 for predicted reliability. RepairPal puts annual repair costs at $666, which is 16% above the midsize SUV average, and iSeeCars shows it losing 50% of its value in 5 years. The mechanical failures start with the ZF 8-speed transmission, which slips, hesitates, and has failed outright on vehicles with under 5,000 miles. Multiple owners have documented complete transmission replacements in the first year of ownership, a repair that runs between $3,500 and $7,000 out of warranty. And then there's the 4xe plug-in hybrid. NHTSA has an active recall telling owners to park outside and not charge because of high-voltage battery fire risk, covering every model year from 2020 through 2026, 6 years of vehicles affected by a single fire risk recall. Jeep spends more on marketing the Grand Cherokee than some brands spend on their entire lineup, and dealers are offering $5,000 to $8,000 off MSRP. When a dealer discounts a vehicle that aggressively, the question every buyer should ask is why. This SUV looks like a Range Rover, costs less than a Range Rover, and brakes more often than a Range Rover. So now you know the 5 SUVs to avoid. I saved the best for last, and this one is going to start a debate in the comments because it's not the SUV most people would guess. My number 1 SUV to buy in 2026 is the Toyota Land Cruiser. Before you click away, let me walk through why the data says this is the smartest SUV purchase you can make right now. The Land Cruiser sits on the same GAF body-on-frame platform as the Lexus GX, and the GX won J.D. Power's Most Dependable Upper Midsize Premium SUV Award in 2025. Same platform, same powertrain family, same factory. What you're getting is J.D. Power's most dependable luxury SUV platform without the luxury markup. The longevity numbers are staggering. iSeeCars analyzed nearly 400 million vehicles and found that the Toyota Sequoia, the Land Cruiser's full-size sibling on the same architecture, has a 39.1% chance of reaching 250,000 miles. The industry average sits at 4.8%. That's 8 times more likely to hit 250,000 miles than the average vehicle on the road. Resale value backs this up. iSeeCars ranks the Land Cruiser number 1 among all large SUVs, retaining 68.9% of its value after 5 years. The only vehicles with better resale are sports cars and the Mercedes G-Wagon. Under the hood, a standard hybrid powertrain delivers 326 horsepower and 465 pound-feet of torque paired with full-time 4-wheel drive, a 2-speed transfer case, and locking center and rear differentials. While the Grand Cherokee costs $666 a year in repairs and loses half its value, the Land Cruiser sits on the most dependable platform in Edmunds' study, holds nearly 70% of its value, and carries a nameplate with 70 years of proof behind it. Buy this once, and you're done. So there you have it. 5 SUVs that'll fool you and 5 that'll reward you for doing your homework. Did any of these surprise you? Drop a comment telling me which SUV you're considering, and I'll tell you if it's a smart buy or a trap. And if someone you know is about to sign on a Jeep Grand Cherokee or an GMC Acadia, do them a favor and send them this video before they put their name on the paperwork.